Dred Scott, Crispus Attucks, Rosa Parks, Ben Carson, George Washington Carver, Condoleezza Rice, Barack Obama, Kanye West? Is Kanye putting himself in the same category as all these pioneers?
One of the moves that I love that liberals tried to do, the liberal would try to control a black person through the concept of racism because they know that we are very proud, emotional people. So when
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Quam Teasy with the Christocrats and the Red Pill Reality, here with another video today. I had to do a video on what's happened today at the White House. It's kind of awesome. And what it means. But, you know, one of the big things that we deal with in this country that's cropped up a lot in the last couple of years is the idea of racism. And the idea, you know, mainly between black and white and Black Lives Matter and all that, right? The big question that comes into play is, you know, what is racism? What is bigotry? And we can all agree, I would believe that we can all agree that racism and bigotry is the idea that based on your skin color, that you are lumped into negatively into a group of people based on skin color that you're expected to think, act, you know, in a certain way that is limiting, and that's derogatory, right? So you're held back by another race of people, by another group of people based on your race. And you're looked down upon based on the color of your skin, right? Before there were black people were integrated into the military, the idea was that because you were black, there was no way that you would have the intelligence or the fortitude enough to fight alongside and to deal with the pressures of war, because you didn't have the brain power to do so. Or there was a notion, a long time notion, that said that as a black person, you didn't have enough skills or quickness in here to be a quarterback at the highest level in sports. Or that if you were a black person, you couldn't be a doctor. You could do certain things, but you didn't have enough brain power to be a doctor. Or whatever it is, because you're a black person, when we're just talking about the against black people right now, because there's racism against white people and other races. But if you're black, then you couldn't do these things. And the crazy thing about it is that this notion, this racist notion about black people has been so permeated throughout history that even black people believe that about themselves. So that to the point where we would tell each other that you can't do this or you can't do that. I myself, growing up, and I'm sure sure you have had the same, may have had the same issue growing up, because I cared about my grades and because I cared about, you know, I walked with my pants not sagging and I could speak somewhat correct English. I was told several times that I was trying to be white by other black people, which means that they thought that I was ashamed of being myself and that acting ignorant was what it meant to be black. So what am I getting at? We all know that that's internalized racism, and that's coming from themselves and coming from the outward. You know. So fast forward to today, what happens is black people in general and liberal whites and a lot of other whites or whatever think that you are supposed to stay in this little box, in this little area that they think that you should stay in. Well, your boy Kanye West, he doesn't think so. Now, I'm a disclaimer here. I'm not a 100% fan of Kanye. Never have been. You know, back when he did College Dropout and Late Registration, all that, that was dope music. But somewhere around after those albums, you know, I stopped liking him. You know, I wasn't really cool with Jesus Walks when he first came out, but he was dope producer. My favorite Kanye song is Through the Wire and Diamonds Are Forever. But he created himself into being an icon in pop culture. And so the left is going nuts because he's actually showing himself to be quite knowledgeable and breaking these barriers. First, it was, most recently, it was SNL, wearing the MAGA hat on SNL, supporting the president, and he's unashamed about it. And saying things that you can tell he's been hanging around Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens and reading things and learning things that they don't like you to know. They don't like you to know about who they really are. And Kanye is trying to approach it with love, but at the same time not allow the black monolith and the liberal white monolith to keep him, on the plantation. You stay right there in your place. You better not go nowhere, Junior, because you gonna get in trouble. You are a black man. You are cannot go past what we say you can go. So you stay right there. We'll give you your crumbs, and you better not never be conservative, or else you ain't back. So that's what they do. So today, Kanye met with the president, and he sat across the table from him, and just some of the snippets that were coming out of that meeting was awesome. Like, he was saying things that are true.
Together, and the greatest value that people have are other people, and we need to stop working on red and blue. It's like a gang again.
And the liberals are, like, right now, the liberals are losing their nugget. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do because they're realizing that their old tactics are not working anymore. Their tactics of smearing you, calling you names, trying to intimidate is not working anymore. And the inspiration that we can get, white, black, Hispanic, whoever, from Kanye. Now, I'm not saying that we can model our lives after him, but I'm saying there can be some inspiration that God can use whoever he wants to use to be courageous enough to believe in what you want to believe in, to get the truth, and to break away from the mentality that has held you back. Truth should push you forward into what it is. Not emotion, not our own emotional, opinionated spins on it, but let truth be your guide, and then your emotions can back up what that truth says. Truth says that democratic and liberal ideologies have never worked for anybody. And it only works for those in the higher up. Socialism doesn't work. It only brings people into poverty. And you do not have the permission to physically attack people because words that someone said is something that you don't like. You don't have permission to do that. And many other things. So, be inspired today that you can break out of whatever mental prison that people try to put you in, and let truth be your guide. Truth, not your truth, my truth, his truth, but the truth, which is actually found in the Word of God, although some of them don't know that. But let it be your guide. And it was so good to see, he got up and he was free in the White House, sitting across the president. The Resolute desk was right there, and he got up and hugged him and stuff. And he brought Jim Brown, who was an icon in the civil rights movement as well. Nobody can question him. So the black bourgeoisie, the black talented 10th, they don't know what to do except call people names and try to pull somebody's black card as if they have that power to do so. But I say, I want to keep watching, see what's going to happen, because the cool thing about it, if you didn't know, Kanye is serious about bringing jobs. He went up there and talked to President Trump about job creation in Chicago, the gang violence, about prison reform. He talked about all those things. And I want to ask you something. Who did you see go up to the White House during the Obama administration? You saw Jay-Z, you saw Beyonce. They came up there a lot. Do we ever hear anything about, did you ever remember or hear anything about them talking about any issues for the black community? But we don't call him crazy, but we call Kanye crazy. And Hot 97 and the Breakfast Club and all those things, y'all are tripping. Y'all are in the back pocket shilling for the liberal left. Hillary Clinton got on your radio show and admitted that she is placated to the black community. If a Republican had done that, y'all would have went crazy. Side note, rant over. But, let's see what happens. This is awesome. The liberals are losing their nugget. Remember, the midterms are coming up. I want you to be courageous. Fight for what's right. Let the Lord guide you into all truth. Remember to support what's going on. We'll see if some real legislation comes out of these meetings. We'll see what happens. But if it takes Kanye to get up there to get some stuff done, he's getting things done. Trump's getting things done at a record pace. So you know, proof is in the pudding. So anyway, like, subscribe, you know, share these videos. Let's get everything going here. You know, again, let what Kanye is doing, let that inspire you to be courageous in your own life, to live out loud for Christ, to not pull back, to do it in love, but speak the truth in love. Don't be afraid. Because if our light is pushed under a bushel, then who else is going to be that light? God has chosen you to be the light to the world. So let's do that. So remember, love God, hate sin. Remember, we're not left, we're not right, but we're up. I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke. I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke.